Ramesses the Great. Ramesses the Great, the pharaoh who became the symbol of an entire era, a ruler whose name survived 3,000 years and whose monuments still stand today as silent narrators of the past. He was born around 1303 BC, at a time when Egypt was at the peak of its power. Society was wealthy, organized, and confident. And into this world stepped the boy who was destined to change Egyptian history. He was the son of Pharaoh Seti I, one of the most respected rulers of his time, and Queen Tuya. From an early age, he was groomed for rule. He learned administration, religion, military tactics, and the rituals that formed the core of Egyptian society. At the age of 10, he was named Crown Prince. Soon after, he began accompanying his father on military campaigns, an experience that shaped the boy into a future leader. Ramesses became pharaoh around 1279 BC. This began a reign that lasted an incredible 66 years. Few rulers in ancient history can boast such a long and stable rule. His era brought political strength, economic growth, and monumental projects unparalleled in scope. Ramesses was not merely an administrator of Egypt. He was the creator of his own epoch. His family life is as fascinating as his political one. It is estimated that he fathered over 100 children, 50 sons and 50 daughters. Some sources even cite numbers exceeding 160 descendants. His most beloved queen was Nefertari. Her tomb is among the most beautiful in the Valley of the Queens. His second key wife, Isetnofret, bore him his successor, Meremptah. Some of his wives were also his own daughters, which was a traditional way within the royal family to maintain dynastic purity. Ramesses was not only a sovereign, but also a military commander. He led campaigns against Nubia, Libya, and into the Levant region. Most famous, however, is his clash with the Hittites, the Battle of Kadesh in 1274 BC. It was one of the largest chariot battles in history. Ramesses stood against King Muwatalli II, and even though the battle ended inconclusively, Ramesses turned it into a legend. Reliefs across Egypt depict his courage, leadership, and divine protection. Although the actual outcome was more of a compromise, he became a hero in the eyes of the Egyptians. The conflict with the Hittites ultimately led to the first known international peace treaty in history. Ramesses and the Hittite king Hattusili III thus ended long years of fighting. A copy of this treaty hangs today at the headquarters of the United Nations as a reminder that diplomacy is just as important as force. Ramesses was also a relentless builder. His reign produced so many monuments that historians joke that every second Egyptian statue is Ramesses. He built magnificent complexes at Karnak, reconstructed Luxor, and created his own city, Pi-Ramesses. However, his greatest work remains Abu Simbel, two gigantic rock-cut sanctuaries carved into the Nubian sandstone. Four 20-meter-high colossal statues sit before the temple as eternal guardians. He had the second temple built for Nefertari, a gesture that was rare in Egyptian history. Another masterpiece is the Ramesseum, his mortuary temple in Thebes. Here, his legacy was meant to be told for centuries. Although time and earthquakes have damaged the temple, its majesty is still evident. Ramesses lived to an extraordinary age, approximately 90 years, which was exceptional for that era. He apparently suffered from arthritis and atherosclerosis. His mummy shows worn teeth, which corresponds to the diet of the elite. At the time, he was buried in tomb K57 in the Valley of the Kings, but due to tomb robbers, his mummy was later relocated. Today, it is displayed in Cairo, where visitors from all over the world admire it. In the 1970s, his mummy was flown to Paris for treatment of a fungal infection. Egypt issued him a valid passport. In the profession field, it was written, "King Deceased." This document is one of the most peculiar in modern history. Ramesses is sometimes associated with the biblical pharaoh from the Exodus story. However, direct evidence is lacking. Nonetheless, this theory persists due to his exceptional reputation and the time in which he reigned. His hair was found with a natural reddish tint, although this may have been influenced by oxidation. His health problems did not prevent him from ruling with strength and authority. His death marked the end of an epoch. But his legacy continued. After his death, other pharaohs ruled who carried his name. The following 2 centuries are known in history as the Ramesside era. Ramesses II influenced not only his time but also the generations that came after him. Ramesses the Great was not just a ruler, he was a symbol. He changed his empire, shaped history, and left behind monuments that have withstood thousands of years. His life is a story of power, ambition, and indomitable will. And it is for this reason that he is still considered one of the greatest pharaohs who ever walked the earth.